So today we are going over the second of our 5 positional rankings videos, and we will be going over the shooting guard position. And we kicked this series off in my last video where we ranked the top 30 point guards in college basketball, so make sure to watch that one if you missed it. But as a reminder, these rankings are based on how I think each of these players will perform next season, and if you don't see someone you think should be included, they might be in one of the other positional rankings videos. But before we begin, if you enjoy the content, please consider dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel, as it helps us grow and is greatly appreciated. And now, let's jump into it. So I have a few honorable mentions that just missed out on being in the top 30, but were very close, and they are Denzel Aberdeen from Florida, Josan Sainon from St. John's, and Osiah Sellers from St. John's, Drew Washington from Miami, and Tremont Mark from Texas. But coming in at number 30 is Arkansas guard DJ Wagner, who steps into the season with a chance to elevate both his individual profile and the Razorbacks backcourt. The second-year transfer posted 11 points and 3.5 assists last season, showing flashes of a high-level shot creator capable of getting downhill whenever a lane opens, and his shifty handle, explosive first step, and willingness to attack off the dribble make him one of the more difficult covers in space. There are still areas that need improvement though for Wagner, particularly his shot selection and finishing efficiency, but the upside is clear whenever he's creating offense in transition or forcing defensive rotations with his dribble penetration. And physically, he brings toughness and length on the perimeter for the Razorbacks, using his quick feet to disrupt opposing guards, and with a more consistent jumper and sharper decision making, the Arkansas guard could get nightly double-figure production and be a disruptive two-way presence and become Arkansas's lead scoring guard. Coming in at number 29 is Baylor's newly added scoring weapon Obi Agbim, who is a fearless shot creator who plays with the confidence of a go-to option. After putting up 17.5 points and shooting an incredible 43.5% from 3 at Wyoming, Agbim joins the Bears with a proven track record of producing against high-level competition. And what stands out the most is his versatility. His 49% on catch-and-shoot threes shows how dangerous he is off the ball, yet he's equally capable of breaking down defenders off the dribble and finishing above the rim with explosive athleticism. And Baylor's system is tailor-made for dynamic off-guards, and Agbim's unselfishness and leadership should help him thrive alongside other talented backcourt options. And if he brings the same defensive effort he showed in the Mountain West with Wyoming last year and takes advantage of all of his transition opportunities, he has the traits to become a nightly double-digit scorer while emerging as an impact two-way threat in the Big 12. Coming in at number 28 is Jaron Pierre Jr., SMU's newest weapon and a 6'5" scoring machine that is coming off a massive season at Jacksonville State last year, in which he averaged 21.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists. Pierre attacks defenses from just about every level, and he scored in the 80th percentile on catch-and-shoot looks and consistently buried NBA-range threes. He also punishes defenders at the rim with his explosiveness and physicality. The former Conference USA Player of the Year put together high-profile performances throughout last season and showed the type of microwave scoring ability that completely shifts momentum in a game. And what adds even more value is his feel as a shooting guard. He's capable of making plays off the dribble and keeping defenses off balance with timely kickouts. And if he brings the same level of focus on the offensive end and consistent defense, SMU will gain a high-usage guard who produces elite scoring nights on a regular basis in the ACC next season. Coming in at number 27 is Syracuse's JJ Starling, a crafty combo guard who put together an impressive junior year by averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists across 26 games. Starling has developed into one of the better 3-level scorers in the ACC, using a mix of floaters, pull-up jumpers, and strong body control to carve up defenses inside the arc. And he may not pop as an elite athlete, but his physical frame and feel for the game allow him to consistently get defenders off balance and create clean looks off the dribble. The next step in his development, though, centers around refining his efficiency, particularly from the perimeter and the free throw line, where he left some points on the board last season. But by becoming more reliable as an outside shooter, which I think he will next season, and continuing to build on his secondary playmaking flashes, Starling has all the ingredients to become a go-to scoring option that carries Syracuse in big moments. Coming in at number 26 is Oklahoma's newest addition, Nijel, who is a seasoned shot maker who brings one of the most reliable jumpers in college basketball to Norman next season. And before an early season injury cut things short last season at Miami, Pack averaged 14 points while shooting 40% from deep and dishing out 4.5 assists over the 9 games that he played. And he's lethal coming off of pin downs and floppy actions, and his ability to read screens and fire from NBA range forces opposing defenses to extend well beyond the arc to defend him. And though he's not known as a lockdown defender, Pack's veteran composure and smart positioning make him a steady presence on both ends of the floor, and in Oklahoma's offense, he'll have the freedom to hunt for perimeter looks and attack with floaters when defenses chase him off the line, and if he maintains his elite efficiency from 3 that we've seen, while also continuing to grow as a secondary playmaker behind Xavier Brown, the Sooners will have one of the most dangerous floor spacers in the country, helping lead their backcourt. Coming in at number 25 is an Indiana guard who they landed in the transfer portal in Tayton Conerway, who was the reigning Sun Belt Player of the Year and averaged 14 points, 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds, and nearly 3 steals per game last season at Troy. Conerway thrives attacking downhill, using his 6'3", 180-pound frame and athleticism to score at the rim or create opportunities for his teammates, and while his three-point shooting dipped under heavy usage last season, most of his scoring came efficiently around the rim, and Conerway's defensive impact is elite, posting a 5.6% steal rate, ranking among some of the nation's best, and showing the instincts to pressure ball handlers and disrupt passing lanes, and with Indiana's perimeter shooters like Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson helping space the floor, Conerway will be able to play more of a combo guard role and maximize his assist rate and play to his defensive strengths, and if he continues developing his efficiency and playmaking, and that shooting trends upward a little bit, he'll be a versatile and high-impact guard capable of swinging games for Indiana. Coming in at number 24 is Alabama guard Latrell Wrightsell Jr., who is an efficient two-way playmaker and was averaging 11.5 points last season prior to suffering a season-ending Achilles injury last November. But when healthy, Wrightsell brings an impressive blend of shot-making, decision-making, and on-ball defense that fits perfectly into Nate Oates' high-tempo system. He shoots it well from deep, handles the ball when needed, and rarely forces bad looks, all while consistently attacking downhill and finishing through contact. And on the defensive end, his lateral quickness and discipline allow him to stay in front of smaller guards, and he does a great job using verticality to shut off driving lanes as well. And with his medical redshirt being granted and a full offseason of recovery, the next step is regaining his explosiveness and sharpening his floater and pull-up game against closeouts. But with the strong return that I anticipate, paired with the improved playmaking and continued defensive pressure that he brings, Wrightsell could be one of the most impactful guards in the SEC this season. Coming in at number 23 is Michigan State guard Trey Fort, who is one of the most impactful portal additions in the country. Fort is a 6'4" senior guard coming off a breakout year at Samford, where he put up 14.5 points per game and shot 38% from 3 on the season. And Fort gives the Spartans exactly what they lacked last season, which was shot creation and perimeter efficiency. He's a smooth 3-level scorer who's comfortable shooting off the catch, pulling up off the dribble, or finishing in transition thanks to his athleticism and improved quickness. And Fort's ability to relocate off the ball and exploit gaps in a defense makes him an ideal fit in Tom Izzo's half-court sets, especially alongside a playmaking point guard. And he also rebounds well for his size and brings veteran maturity to the roster, and with more consistent defensive effort and a continued growth as a creator on offense, he has the skill set to become the Spartans' primary scoring option from the guards and one of the most reliable offensive threats in the Big Ten. And coming in next at number 22 is BYU transfer guard Kennard Davis Jr., who is one of the most improved players in the country last season after breaking out and averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists at Southern Illinois. And at 6'6", Davis brings a rare mix of physicality and perimeter skill. He's incredibly efficient attacking the rim, converting 63% of his attempts inside, and showed growth as a floor spacer by knocking down 61 threes at a 37.5% clip last season. And what really pops on the film is his versatility, as Davis can initiate offense as a jumbo guard, play off the ball with solid movement, and defend multiple positions thanks to his strength and length. And moving into BYU's high-powered system, there will be plenty of open looks as defenses key in on Robert Wright, Richie Saunders, and AJ Dybantsa, and giving Davis even more opportunities to showcase his shot making. And if he continues to sharpen his handle and become more consistent perimeter scorer, BYU will have yet another high-level two-way weapon in its lineup. Coming in at number 21 is Louisville sharpshooting guard Isaac McKneeley, who they added in the transfer portal. And McKneeley led Virginia in scoring last season with 14.5 points per game while knocking down 42% of his three-pointers on over 7 attempts per game. And McKneeley is a movement shooter with elite off-ball skills, thriving in catch-and-shoot situations and off-ball screens, and making him a versatile offensive threat. And while he's not the most explosive athlete, his basketball IQ, the competitiveness he brings, and solid ball handling allow him to create space and make plays for others, as reflected in his 2.9 assists to 1.5 turnovers ratio. And defensively, he definitely will benefit from 3 years in Tony Bennett's pack line system, giving him a strong foundation to build on at Louisville. And with his combination of high volume accuracy, off-ball savvy, and improved playmaking, McKneeley is positioned to provide consistent perimeter scoring, open spacing, and reliable secondary facilitation for Louisville, and giving them a go-to guard who can impact both ends of the floor. Coming in at number 20 is St. Mary's guard Mikey Lewis, who showcased instant impact as a freshman, carving out a role as the Gales' top reserve while averaging 8 points in just over 16 minutes per game last season. And his scoring efficiency is what stood out, especially beyond the arc, where he connected on 37.5% of his attempts, and leading the team in both makes and volume. And at 6'3" and 180 pounds, Lewis isn't the most explosive athlete, but he makes up for it with elite shot making off the dribble, strong catch and shoot ability, and a knack for delivering in big moments. Defensively, his length and anticipation led to nearly a steal per game, adding value beyond just scoring. And with the expanded role he's expected to have for St. Mary's, the larger number of minutes, and his refinement as a ball handler, Lewis has the tools to grow into one of the most dangerous perimeter scorers in the WCC and maybe even in the country. And coming in at number 19 is Arizona freshman Brayden Burries, as he arrives as a polished scorer with a college-ready frame at 6'4", 200 pounds. And already being physically mature as a freshman, the California Gatorade Player of the Year thrives as a 3-level threat and mixes downhill strength with a versatile perimeter game. And he isn't overly quick with his first step, but he uses pace, balance, and physicality to get to his spots, finishing with craft around the rim or rising for emphatic dunks. And his mid-range pull-up and step-back jumper are advanced for his age, while his outside shot, though streaky, shows soft touch and confidence both off the catch and the dribble. And Burries is also a steady free throw shooter and a tough rebounder who competes defensively. And slotted alongside Jaden Bradley in Arizona's backcourt, his ability to adjust off the ball while still delivering efficient scoring and secondary playmaking makes him a candidate to become one of the Big 12's most impactful freshman guards. Coming in at number 18, we have another Louisville shooting guard in Adrian Wooley, who is one of last year's breakout freshmen and shined at Kennesaw State, averaging 18.8 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game on elite efficiency, as he shot over 50% from the field and 42% from three. Wooley stands at 6'5" and brings size, versatility, and a left-handed jumper with deep range that keeps defenses guessing. He thrives creating off the dribble, whether it's pulling up from beyond the arc or using craft and balance to finish tough layups at the rim. His ability to score from every level, combined with a sharp passing vision, made him one of just 8 players in Division I with both a true shooting percentage above 62% and an assist rate over 22% last season. And for Louisville, he'll be playing alongside other high-level guards, but will still be given the chance to showcase his shot-making, decision-making, and defensive instincts as a complete offensive weapon. Coming in at number 17 is Purdue senior guard Fletcher Loyer, and he stands out as one of the most experienced and steady guards in the nation. Last season, he turned in his best year yet, averaging nearly 14 points while shooting 46.5% from the floor and an impressive 44% from deep. And his game is built on the elite shooting mechanics that he has, especially in catch and shoot situations, but he also provides value as a 3-level scorer with a reliable mid-range jumper and the ability to get downhill when defenders overplay. But beyond his scoring, Loyer's sharp decision-making and crisp passing make him a trusted playmaker, particularly with post-entry feeds in Purdue's system. And entering his senior season, his blend of shooting gravity, leadership, and late-game composure position him to anchor the Boilermakers' backcourt alongside Brayden Smith and remain one of the Big Ten's most dependable scoring threats. Coming in at number 16 is Creighton transfer Josh Dix. The 6'6" guard has quietly built one of the most efficient resumes in all of college basketball, especially after coming off of last season where he averaged 14.5 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game at Iowa. Dix showcased his ability to score at all 3 levels while maintaining elite efficiency, but his shooting stroke is his calling card as he hit 42% from deep last year and has now cleared 40% from 3 in every single season of his career so far. But beyond spot-up looks, he thrives in both contested and off-the-dribble situations, giving him gravity that defenses must constantly account for. The shooting, paired with a 67% finishing rate at the rim, makes him far more than just a specialist though, and for Creighton, the spacing that he brings and his size immediately fit their offensive identity, and if his consistency carries over like it has at Iowa, he has the tools to become one of the Big East's most reliable perimeter scorers. Coming in at number 15 is North Carolina's Seth Trimble, who is stepping into a leadership role as the lone returning starter for the Tar Heels this season. The 6'3" senior guard averaged 11.5 points per game last season, carving out a reputation as one of the ACC's most dangerous downhill threats, and his ability to penetrate the lane and draw contact definitely stood out, as he attempted over 140 free throws and hit 82% of them, proving his aggressiveness translate into some efficient points. Trimble thrives in transition, using his strength to finish through defenders and provides tough, versatile defense on the perimeter as well. And while his three-point shooting remains an area of growth that he's focusing on this summer, he's shown steady year-to-year improvement, both in patience and decision-making. And with the offense now running more through him, Trimble's slashing ability and playmaking should be on full display this next season. And if that shooting continues to progress, his combination of athleticism, leadership, and defensive toughness could make him one of the most impactful guards in the ACC. Coming in at number 14 is Duke's Isaiah Evans, a 6'6" wing whose shooting touch already makes him one of the most dangerous scorers in the country. And as a freshman, he drilled 41.5% from deep on over 4 attempts per game, showing confidence both off the catch and pulling up off the dribble. And his quick release and fluid mechanics allow him to thrive in movement situations, whether flying off screens or relocating in transition, making him a constant threat to stretch defenses. But adding strength will be key as he takes on a bigger role defensively this season for Duke. But offensively, Evans now steps into the starting lineup with more freedom to create, where his stepbacks, pull-ups, and footwork hint at untapped shot creation potential. And if he maintains his elite efficiency from 3 while proving he can defend physical wings, Evan becomes the type of two-way scoring weapon who can dominate in the ACC. Coming in at number 13 is Marquette's Chase Ross, who brings one of the most complete defensive toolkits in college basketball, paired with a growing offensive impact. The 6'5" senior averaged 10.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists last season, while also ranked second on the team with 2 steals per game. His quick hands, physicality, and relentless motor on the defensive end make him a nightmare for opposing guards, as he thrives in both on-ball pressure and disrupting the passing lanes. Offensively, Ross adds value as a slasher and transition finisher, using his explosiveness to attack the rim and turn defense into instant offense. And with Marquette now relying more heavily on him, his ability to build on that scoring while maintaining his defensive edge will be crucial for the Golden Eagles. And if he becomes more consistent as a perimeter shooter, Ross has the athleticism and two-way presence to swing games for Marquette and cement himself among the most impactful guards in the Big East. Coming in at number 12 is Malik Thomas, who enters Virginia with the reputation of being one of the most polished scorers in the country after a breakout season at San Francisco last year. The 6'5" guard put up 20 points per game, shooting nearly 40% from deep, while also contributing 4 rebounds and 2 assists per game. His ability to score in isolation, knock down shots off the dribble, and finish at all 3 levels makes him a natural fit to boost the Cavaliers' offense, which often leans on half-court execution. But beyond his scoring, Thomas brings solid defensive effort, using quick lateral movement and physicality to guard multiple positions, while also being a reliable free throw shooter who thrives in late-game moments. And Virginia will rely heavily on his offensive creation, and if he can carry his shooting efficiency to the ACC while blending into Virginia's defensive system, Thomas has the tools to become one of the most reliable backcourt weapons in the conference. Coming in at number 11 is Mason Falslev, whose rise at Utah State has been fueled by steady improvement in nearly every area of his game, making him one of the most versatile guards in the Mountain West. Last season, he averaged 15 points and 6 rebounds while also dishing out 4 assists per game, showing his ability to impact both scoring and playmaking for Utah State. But what really stood out was his defensive presence, leading the conference in steals at 2.5 per game, while also taking a massive leap as a perimeter threat, jumping from 30.5% to nearly 42% from 3. And that combination of athleticism, two-way effort, and improved shooting efficiency makes him a tough cover for any defense. And with Ian Martinez gone this year, more of Utah State's offense will run through him. And if Falslev continues to build on his shooting consistency while keeping his defensive edge sharp, he has the chance to be the kind of guard who tilts games on both ends of the floor. And coming in at number 10 is USC shooting guard Rodney Rice, who emerged as a polished scorer during his first healthy season at Maryland and showed why he was a highly touted transfer portal prospect. Rice averaged 13.8 points per game last season and knocked down 37% of his three-point attempts, while also displaying a reliable mid-range game. At 6'4", he excels as an off-ball threat, using his smooth mechanics and quick release to stretch defenses, though he can create for himself when needed. And Rice's court vision shows he's capable of facilitating without forcing the action, and he runs the floor hard, picking up easy baskets in transition as well. Defensively, he's a team-oriented player with a motor to disrupt passing lanes and guard bigger wings, and if Rice continues to refine his on-ball game while maintaining the elite shooting efficiency we saw last season, he can become a complete two-way scoring guard who spaces the floor and contributes in multiple facets for USC next season. And coming in at number 9 is yet another Alabama shooting guard in Aden Holloway, who has evolved into one of the team's premier perimeter threats. Holloway turned a challenging freshman season at Auburn into a breakout sophomore campaign with the Tide, as he averaged 11.5 points per game off the bench last season and shot an impressive 41% from 3, while also improving his efficiency inside the arc. And at 6'3", he thrives in this combo guard role, spacing the floor with deep range shooting and creating opportunities off the bounce or in catch and shoot situations. Holloway's handle and court vision allow him to navigate ball screens effectively and deliver precise passes, maintaining a strong assist to turnover ratio as well. Defensively, he has shown growth, though there's room for improvement for sure, but with the expanded usage he'll have this season at Alabama, Holloway can emerge as a multi-dimensional scoring guard who stretches defense, contributes as a facilitator, and elevates the Tide's backcourt efficiency next season. Coming in at number 8 is Washington transfer Wesley Yates III, who made a significant leap last season and established himself as a versatile scoring guard in the Big Ten. Yates averaged 14 points per game and shot 44% from 3 and 80% from the free throw line, showing efficiency at all 3 levels. And at 6'4", Yates combines size, strength, and craftiness to allow him to finish through contact, attack the rim from either side, and make tough off-the-dribble or catch-and-shoot shots. And while his playmaking is still developing, he has demonstrated flashes of it, particularly off pin downs and ball screens, and defensively, his physicality gives him potential versatility across all parts of the backcourt, but maintaining his shooting consistency while expanding his playmaking could make Yates a focal point on offense for Washington next season, as he will look to blend his scoring, spacing, and floor leadership into a complete high-impact guard role next season. Coming in at number 7 is Jason Edwards, who enters Providence this season as a dynamic scoring guard ready to make an immediate impact after strong campaigns at both North Texas and Vanderbilt the past 2 seasons. At 6'1", Edwards thrives as an offensive weapon, blending a quick first step, tight crossovers, and hesitation moves to create shots off the dribble, and he's a confident shooter with deep range, capable of catch and shoot threes or pulling up from the mid-range, and his efficiency at the free throw line makes him a threat when driving to the basket as well. And while not known for playmaking or necessarily for his defense, Edwards excels at executing pick and rolls and navigating contact to finish in the paint, even in the SEC's toughest environments last season. And with Providence, he can become a go-to scorer, spacing the floor and consistently putting points on the board, providing a high volume, high efficiency offensive presence that can dictate games and could even average over 20 points a game. Coming in at number 6 is Wisconsin guard John Blackwell, who enters next season as the Badgers' primary scoring option after All-American wing John Tonji departed for the NBA. The 6'4" combo guard showcased his scoring versatility last season, averaging nearly 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, while shooting 45% from the field and 32% from 3. Blackwell thrives at all 3 levels, capable of creating his own shot off the dribble, finishing at the rim, knocking down mid-range jumpers, and stretching the floor from deep. And beyond scoring, he brings physicality and intensity on defense, able to guard multiple positions while contributing on the boards, especially on the offensive glass. And as the team's leader next season, his confidence and maturity will set the tone for Wisconsin, and a full season as the top option will allow Blackwell to refine his offensive efficiency and showcase his full scoring repertoire and elevate his status as a two-way impact player in the Big Ten and in the entire country. Coming in at number 5 is Solo Ball, who has established himself as one of college basketball's most dangerous off-ball shooters and thrives in UConn's system designed to maximize his scoring opportunities. Last season, the left-handed guard averaged 14.5 points and 3.5 rebounds per game while shooting over 40% from 3 and ranking among the top shooters in the Big East. And only 3 Division I players made more threes off screens than Ball last season, highlighting his elite ability to read defenses, navigate screens, and knock down those catch-and-shoot opportunities. But beyond being just a perimeter threat, he boasts explosive athleticism, a quick first step, and the agility to attack closeouts and finish in transition. And while his rim finishing in half-court sets can improve, and I expect they will, adding strength will help him absorb contact in those Big East matchups. But being the focal point of UConn's backcourt this season, Ball's combination of shooting, off-ball movement, and transition scoring can transform him into a primary offensive engine and a constant matchup problem for all of his opponents next season. Coming in at number 4 is Emmanuel Sharp, who emerged as one of Houston's most dynamic two-way guards last season, finishing as the team's second leading scorer while leading the team in steals. He averaged a career-best 41% from 3, showcasing his elite shooting and floor spacing ability. And Sharp also excels off the ball, using screens and intelligent movement to create open looks for himself, and making him a consistent scoring threat even without the ball in his hands. Defensively, his high motor and physicality allow him to challenge multiple positions and disrupt passing lanes, adding value beyond just scoring. And at 6'4", he offers positional versatility, able to slide between the shooting guard and small forward spots depending on what the team needs. And with the expanded offensive responsibilities he'll see without LJ Cryer and continued defensive focus, Sharp can take his game to the next level by combining his sharp shooting, off-ball IQ, and relentless defense to become the team's primary scoring option and a matchup nightmares for the entire country next season. Coming in at number 3 is Richie Saunders, who returns to BYU as the team's most experienced and proven scorer, bringing leadership and elite shooting to an offense poised to compete at the highest level. Last season, Saunders averaged 16.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists, while connecting on an impressive 43% from long range and earning all Big 12 first team honors. Saunders is a hard-nosed two-way wing who combines energy, a high motor, and savvy off-ball movement with a quick trigger and soft touch on floaters and runners as well. And Saunders thrives off screens, relocating efficiently into open spots, and can attack closeouts with decisive mid-range and finishing ability. And while he isn't a primary creator due to size and athletic limitations, his feel for the game and passing instincts do make him a true floor general, and with the expanded responsibility he'll see next season for BYU, Saunders can anchor BYU's offense, providing consistent scoring, defensive intensity, and leadership that make him a nightmare for opponents in just about every facet of the game. Coming in at number 2 is Boogie Flan, who arrives at Florida after a promising freshman campaign at Arkansas that was just cut short by a thumb injury, but he showed flashes of elite offensive versatility and playmaking when he got to play. In 21 games, Flan averaged 13.5 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds, while shooting 37% from 3, displaying the ability to score both off the dribble and create for teammates with poise and pick-and-roll situations. Flan is a former 5-star prospect, and he blends shifty handles, acceleration, and court vision, allowing him to navigate defenses efficiently and pressure the rim in transition. And while catch-and-shoot threes are a strength, finishing through contact and extending his off-ball dribble shooting consistency remains areas of growth for him and something that he's been working on. Defensively, Flan's quick feet and active hands make him a disruptive player despite a smaller frame, and with improved finishing, sustained shooting efficiency, and a two-way consistency that I think we're going to see, Flan can become a cornerstone scorer and facilitator for Florida and commanding the floor while providing the Gators with dynamic offensive firepower. And coming in at number 1 is Otega Oweh, who returns to Kentucky after withdrawing from the NBA draft this offseason and is slotting into a loaded roster that's just brimming with talent. Standing at 6'5", Oweh combines size, strength, and athleticism to be a disruptive two-way presence. Last season, he set career highs with 16 points, 4.5 rebounds, and nearly 2 assists and 2 steals per game, showcasing his ability to impact the game on multiple different fronts. Offensively, he blends powerful drives to the rim with a reliable catch-and-shoot game, stretching defenses and creating scoring opportunities for himself and his teammates. Defensively, Oweh's versatility allows him to guard both backcourt and wing players, using his frame and length to contest shots and intercept passing lanes. Improvement in on-ball defense and shooting consistency will definitely elevate his impact even further, and something I think we can see this next season from him. But if he continues to refine that efficiency and maintains the relentless motor he brings on both ends of the floor, Oweh can emerge as a dominant, complete shooting guard capable of leading Kentucky while excelling on both ends of the floor. And with that, let me know in the comments what you think of my rankings of the top shooting guards in college basketball for next season. Also, make sure to check out my last video where we ranked the top 30 point guards in college basketball. And if you finished the video and were wondering why some players weren't included, they might be listed in some of the other positional ranking videos, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.